Right, welcome back. So today let's continue working on Scufris, our personal AI assistant. Let's just take a look at how it works currently. So, you can type in a message. It's going to generate some text for that message. If right now our supervisor LLM called Scufris is using Quen, so it's able to have this think stuff and also being able to do tool calls. So if we ask something like, what is the weather in Paris? I don't know, I'm using this example, but whatever. It's going to create a tool call, and then it's going to, in our code, we have, obviously, we check for tool calls, and if it's the weather tool, we make a request to weather.in, and we have a bunch of other tools, I guess. I guess that's a lie. We have only two tools right now. I guess it's three tools if you think about it, because we have the weather tool, we have a tool for generating images. Right now, I haven't started the API for images. And we also have, I guess we also have the web search tool, and we also have a delegate tool, which lets you switch to a different LLM. So for instance, as I said, Scufris is using Quen. Then we have a coder that is using, I think, DeepSeek or something, and a knowledge agent that's using Llama. So we have different LLMs working together, right? So if I don't know, we ask something about, like, search the web for something, it's gonna switch to the knowledge agent and it's gonna search the web for that information. So we can even make an example. What is the population of Germany? And it should I don't know why it dedicated to coder. Okay, I need to check with knowledge. Okay, so I guess it also gives us a reference or something. So it says what tools it has. So it says I need to check with the knowledge agent, checks for population of Germany. Then I need to the knowledge agent says, okay, I need to search the web for this information. Then it calls the web search tool. It gets some website, some information. Then the knowledge tool formulates an answer, and it gives it back to Scufris, and Scufris gives us back the entire response. So basically that's how it works. And what you might have noticed since the last time is that we have this streaming of the text. So it's no longer you wait for the entire response to come up and then it puts the entire response. It's gonna give us the response token by token. Did that kind of last time, but I'm not sure if it's kind of lame, honestly. I'm not sure if it's that interesting. But we can give it a quick recap. I guess it was pretty simple to do in the end. So, as you might remember, the chat request has this stream boolean flag that you can pass, and if that's true, then it's Olama is gonna respond with streaming enabled, right? So what we do in here is we pass a on token function, which I'm not really happy with this function, because what if an LLM provider doesn't have streaming, or you don't want to pass on token right here. You might want to, I don't know, pass it somehow differently. I'm not sure, maybe in the context. I think that's more idiomatic for Go, from what I understand, passing things through the context. We'll see. I'll refactor it on my own time, so it's not important, but the idea is the chat function somehow needs to have this on token function that does something with the tokens. And instead of just doing a read all, we do a scanner and we read line by line the response. And if we have the on token function, we call it. That's the entire idea. And in the end, the chat function is still gonna return the entire response, so it's still blocking but for us visually we can do whatever we want with the token. So we have that freedom there. Like if you want to have a web app, the onToken function might communicate via WebSockets with the front end to display text, something like that. Okay, so now that we know we are up to date with everything, what I was thinking for today was to try and add a new LLM in here, and this LLM would be responsible for loading and saving images, I would say. So we should have we have a coder for coding, a knowledge for knowledge stuff. I would like the base agent or like the supervisor to not really have these kind of tools directly attached to it. So it should be our supervisor, then some other LLMs below it, and maybe then tools. So I would like to group some of the tools together. So for instance, we might have this new image which just generates the base64 for an image, and then what if we have a tool for saving images? So it takes that base64 and saves it to whatever path. And what if we also have a tool for loading images as base64? So for the Olama provider, let's say we have this I guess there are a couple of LLMs that work with images. One of them, I think it was, for some reason I thought that Gemma, oh yeah, it has vision, Gemma 3. Okay, let's open that. And there's also Lava model that works with images. Train large. Not sure. I mean, we'll see which one we want to use, depending on the size as well. I mean, this one's pretty big. So you can pass in the request, you can pass an image. So that's kind of cool, I would think. Model, prompt, and then a list of images. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then Gemma probably works similarly. It doesn't really show it, but whatever. Okay, why not? We could try to, I mean, we have to download the model first, so we'll just pull it, and while it's loading, I guess we can do something else. So as I said, we might want this kind of new agent, right? And then tools for saving and loading images. So now I'm thinking, how can we do saving images? Because the image itself is going to be stored in the chat history, right? So if we go to the image tool, you'll see that it returns the image. This is string, so it's base64. So this tool returns us some kind of status, success, and then the image as base64. And this information is basically received in our agent code when we do a tool call. So here we call the tool, we get back the result. The result, we just marshal it into like a JSON string, convert it to a string, and then we add it to the chat history, right? So if we have something like a tool call for saving images, we need the LM itself to pick up the image from the history and pass it as an argument to the tool call, which, you know, maybe it's gonna fail, so that's kind of annoying. But at the same time, I'd say it's fine. Like, if you think about it, in a web browser, if you have an interface to this thing, you display the image and you're able to download it manually from the web browser, but from the CLI it's kind of hard to do that. Like, if you saw, I guess last time or something, we were able to display the image in this in the terminal, so that was kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, sure, let's try to have a tool for storing the image. So this is going to be the image generation tool, and we are going to have image save tool. Okay, and can we just image save? Let's go. Image save tool. I mean, obviously we could have saved the image in the same in the same tool call, but then we need to generate the name ourselves, so that's kind of annoying. That would be the annoying part. So that's why I was thinking, like, okay, you would ask it, so if we just run it, generate an image of a cat. This one is gonna fail because it doesn't have the image, it's not enabled, right? But then you would also say something like save the image to cat.png, right? And it would save it to this file. So yeah, that, I mean, it would be cool to have something like that. It's also kind of generic for, let's say, saving stuff to files. So, or I guess even loading information from files. But then it's also the fact that an image is base64, so we have to decode it first. I guess we could implement just loading from a file and saving to a file stuff. That could also be decent for now. So I guess we can say store and load or something, or I guess save tool. Right, I'm not sure how we can the touch tool, which touches files, but no, it should be like, I guess write and read. So we're gonna have this write tool, and the write tool should have some bytes though, but I think I need to pass the information as string. Might need to pass the information as string. So it's gonna be different. Yeah, I guess for images it's you have to pass it as base64. You cannot really do it otherwise. I guess it's fine. So we're gonna have the content is gonna be some string, I guess content, and then JSON schema, we're gonna have content, the content to write Google file, and then we have a path. Okay, we have the path to use to create the file. Now, obviously, the problem would be, you kind of need to and I guess in the end this would boil down to having things that basically interact with shell. That's what I thought, but I don't want to give it access directly to commands. I'd like them to be a bit, kind of safe in a way. But I guess that's what validate was purposed for. So like we would need a function that reads the directory, a function that creates directories. We might even have subcategory in here, maybe called shell. Right? And I mean, it's still package tools. Package. I mean, it has to be package shell. It's like shell tools or something. But that's kind of stupid. I guess you don't really do that in Go. Okay, whatever. So let's keep it as package tools. Okay, so we have let's say we do just that. So we have write tool parameters. Content needs to be non-empty. p.path. I mean, here we can even validate that the path exists. So that could be a thing. Path cannot be empty. Maybe validate exists. Or we can even create the path here if it doesn't exist. We can make the life easier for the LLM. Okay, anyway, so let's say we have the write tool. It doesn't need anything. New write tool. Not sure what it doesn't like. Okay, write tool is not implemented yet. So we have to do write tool. Parameter is gonna be write tool parameters. Then we have the name of the write tool. Let's call it write. Use this tool to write data to files. The content and the path must be valid strings or something. Okay, it's gonna be the write tool. And then we have the write tool here. Stick the parameters. And we're gonna have a path and some content. Okay, cool. So we have these things. Then, yeah, this is the annoying part that I have to do this say like that, but I think it's fine. again, not completely sure how I want to factor this stuff, actually the say part, because if you are gonna implement this thing in a web API, you want this stuff to actually send the information to a WebSocket. So we want it to somehow be a bit more generic. Like maybe event based. Like here you would somehow send event somehow. I don't know how. We might need some kind of extra structure that you have in here that you pass to the right tool. Or it could also be a structure that gets passed through the context. Yeah, I mean, a structure that gets passed through the context could maybe make more sense. Because if you think about it, when you make a request to the API, that's when you make a request to chat basically. So that's when you open a WebSocket for that response and then you close the WebSocket. I mean, that's what I would do. At least there are two options. You keep the WebSocket open the entire conversation, or like while the browser is open, or just for a single chat. I'm not sure which one I prefer, but if we choose the second one, so we keep the connection open while, like when you send a chat request, then it makes sense to pass that through the context, that event stuff, because that's when you create the WebSocket. So fair enough, we could pass it through the context, and here it would be something like context dot verbose. I don't know, like verbose observer. It's like the observer pattern, I would say, when you do notifications and events. And you would say something like maybe dot say, and you pass in the context and the text that you want the agent to say or something. I don't know, just an idea. Okay, so I need to write the content to, I need to write, I mean, we can do something like this. Again, we don't really want to generate an image here at this point. We just want to write the text. So for instance here, Golang write text to file. Do you actually write a file? So we need to OS create. Okay, perfect. Interesting. So here it writes bytes. Which could be kind of nice. Like what if we make the content as byte array? I'm not sure if that's possible. What? So again, we have to create a file. Let's check another tool. For instance, I don't know, the weather tool. It has some error checking. We can just copy paste it. Okay, so we need to create path, right? Let's import OS. So here we have the F file. We need to return an error. I guess this one is a right error. Failed to create file. Failed to create file. Or I mean failed to open file. It's more, I don't know, it's create. Creates or truncates. So it opens it with truncate mode. Okay. And then we can write to it, but it's also important to defer f.close. So defer f.close, and then we can write, and we get some number of bytes that we wrote. I think the number of bytes is not important, we just care about the error. And here, what if we do content? But it's gonna complain that no, it's not. Yeah. Go length 20 bytes. I mean, I would say it's probably just calling this, right? Just like you do with string. That's good enough for me. And then we can do something like this, where we say it's a write error, failed to write to file. We say that write is done. And I guess, I don't know, like path. We just echo the path for some reason. Okay, so let's say that this one is a write tool. Now we could, but not completely sure, we could have a write tool that we call it manually from other write tools. So for instance, imagine that we have an write image tool. That one takes the base64, it converts it to binary, and then it calls to this write tool, right? And then let's say we have another like write text, which has some text data. It converts it to binary, and then it calls this write tool. Maybe that's an interesting idea to use. But anyways, let's go to main and let's try to create that tool. So we're gonna add it directly here, why not? A new write tool with login, whatever. So we just added a tool, right? So we should be able now to say something like I was thinking, oh, whoa, undefined new writer. Seriously, what? I guess, yeah. Okay, let's run it with go run. Otherwise, I have to commit the changes to run it with nix run, because when you do nix run, you have to stage the changes for them to be available. Anyway, generate text about cats. So it's gonna write some stuff about cats. Okay, write that to cat.txt. So I need to write cats are, okay, let's see. I need to write cats are fascinating to cat.txt. Write is done. I need to write a y again. Not sure why I did it twice. Weird. And let's see here. And we have cat.txt. That's pretty nice. So we can actually use the agent to create. I'm not sure why it did it twice for some reason. So we are responding with status success. Maybe let's try to respond only with status. Give me some information about cats. Checks with knowledge. I mean, it's gonna give us a big one. Okay, so then we might want to say, okay, save that to cat.md. Let's save it to cat.markdown because it's like some markdown text. The information has been saved. Okay, let's see if we actually have it. Okay, that's pretty nice. I mean, yeah, sure, you can copy paste it, but I still think that's pretty cool. All right, so yeah, that's what I think we might want to have here, like a tool for writing binary data, and then one tool for writing text data, and one tool for writing like images. So that could be an idea. I guess we can try to do that. Oh, and maybe even like, okay, now write it to documents cat.md. Right, so it's gonna actually write it to some other folder. I guess maybe it has to do something, because I'm pretty sure I have documents, right? So it's kind of weird. Anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, when we do create, golang create file, expand user. So we want to expand tilde to home user, but whatever, doesn't matter. Obviously, the other tool that we might want is the load tool, or I guess the read tool, right? And now I'm thinking maybe we want some kind of agent for interacting with the shell for these kind of things. But okay, anyway, let's copy paste this part, let's put it here. So we are gonna have read tool parameters, just the path. Still valid point. We have the read tool, just replace that. Here it's read tool parameters. And again, why would I want that kind of agent is, imagine I say something like write some text about cats, right? And it's gonna say, oh, but I want to call the write tool because it's in the name. And yeah, it might make the first, like our supervisor, a bit confused about things. Use this tool to read data from files. The path, I don't know why I typed mad n. Okay, so the path must be a valid string, obviously. And let's go here, read tool, we are gonna have just the path. So we have read tool parameters. I need to read the file and then it's gonna need to read the file. So let's see how they do file reading. So just, oh, you can just directly read file. I guess that's kind of useful. So we can just do something like this. And in here we're going to have a path. So we have some data. This is a read error, failed to read file. Don't have that. And then we just convert it to string. Right, so this part is done. Right. Okay, let's not forget about our new read tool. So it's that easy to add a new tool, basically, right? You just add an extra tool to our whatever agent. So read cat.md for some info about cats. Let's see if it actually reads the file. Okay, I mean it gave us exactly that, so that's pretty cool. And again, what I would do maybe in here is create a separate agent. Maybe call it like shell agent that does stuff with the basically we want an std lib that's controlled by the LLM, right? So we want to be able to read files, write files, things like that. Now, again, the hard part would be figuring out the binary aspect of this. So, like here we are returning a string, but what if you want to read an image? Right, I think we want these two tools to work with binary data, and then we want extra tools that are wrappers around them to do the actual parsing, right? So it would be read markdown, or I guess read text file, and that's used for markdown, blah blah, whatever. And maybe read image, and that's used to read base64 image. Yeah, I guess we can do that, why not? So for instance, let's start with read. So the read tool is gonna stay pretty much the same. We are not even gonna use these things, like the read function. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. The read function can be just a helper after all, if you think about it. But I mean, at the same time, it already is, like, it's read file. Okay, so we have, yeah, I guess for read it's pretty straightforward. We already have read file, so it's not really that important. For write, honestly, I think it's the same case, right? I don't think it's, that like big of a deal that we have some duplicate code. I think it's fine. So let's have wait, where is image gen? Oh, it's just called image. Read, let's have a read image. All right, so we are going to be able to read an image. So we're going to have this read image parameters with validate, obviously a path, the path to use to read the image. I guess here it's to read the file, but yeah. So we have the read image tool, new read image tool. For the name, let's change it to read image. Use this tool to read an image, or I guess image data from files. The path must be a valid string. Read image tool. Here, let's change it to I need to read the image. Whatever, read error. And then read image is done. And the interesting part is here we get some data, right, as binary. And when we were doing image gen, or I guess image gen simple, here we get back some bytes. Oh, and we return back the bytes of the image. Okay, perfect, that's cool. So then in image.go, we are probably encoding. Right, so here we have the data, right, and we are encoding it to base64. So then we might even be able to display the image just to see it, and then just return it like that. So maybe we want success, and then image is image. just to make it look similar. I mean, we can just display it for fun. It's not yeah, like that could be fine. All right, to get an image into the mix. Okay. So this is gonna load the image. Maybe I also want to print the status here. Why not? Oops. Why not? Okay, let's go back to main and let's add the new read image tool. I don't think I have images in here. No. I mean, I guess I have the, some thumbnail to Scufris. Let's take, okay, let's do load. Let's see if it's gonna figure it out by extension, because it has two options, loading files and loading PNGs. Let's see. Okay, I need to read the image. Huh, whatever. So it did read image. I mean, I would have been extremely surprised if it did something like, okay, let's talk with the coder, let's create something that interprets the image. That would have been pretty cool, but no. Okay, but I'm not sure why it didn't actually display the image. So new read image tool, because we did iCat. Oh yeah, I know why. It's because it doesn't work in Tmux. But it's fine, probably it worked. Okay, then let's go ahead and create a new model. Model file, let's call it shell. So we're gonna have a shell model that does interaction with stdlib. I'm not sure what LLM I want to use in here. Honestly, I would still keep Quen because it's pretty good with tools. UR, let me check. Let's take the prompt because Scufris has a special prompt. You're an expert shell user with really good skills in using tools for using tools, I guess, known for your ability to provide the most. So you're an expert shell user with really good skills in using tools for IO. Let's say IO. It's fine. Known for ability to find the best tool uses. But see, now that's interesting. And providing the information requested or something like that. Very important, you're being tasked with being shell expert, do not do any other tasks, fine. So it's gonna be doing just shell commands, kind of shell commands, because I don't really want to give it access to actually running shell commands. I think that would be pretty easy. Like, it would make this task a lot easier if we just allow it to run shell commands directly. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I want to give it access to run any command. That would be kind of meh. So let's say we have the shell model and then another model file for the artist agent. I guess, you know, it's more of a meme. It thinks it's an artist, but it's actually so the artist. Okay, now I'm curious. Can lava? It doesn't know how to use tools. That's one thing. Geometry also doesn't. So I guess it doesn't use tools. Fine, but I would still say that we want. Okay, then we want even another agent then. So we'll still keep this one as Quen. You are an expert artist with really good skills. So the artist agent will need access to the shell agent and to the lava model, right? That's basically what I'm thinking. In really good scales, in image generation and processing, I guess, known for their ability to find the best prompts to use for image generation and providing concise answers for image understanding, I guess. So we want this guy to create prompts for the image generation tool, and we also want it to get the data from the lava model and, you know, make it into a nice format. And obviously we also want it to run the commands with the shell guy, with an artist expert. Why not? So we're gonna have this guy. Let's copy paste this one, and we can have a model file. I'm not even sure if it's gonna run with all these, but I mean, it's gonna reuse the same model. It's not gonna load it twice. That would be insane. Let's, I don't know if I want to call it image. Not sure yet. Let's not include yet the lava model. Let's just do olama create. So we are gonna create the shell agent from here, shell, and we are gonna create the artist. Okay. So if we go back to main, we should add those. So let's add the shell agent, an expert at running at providing shell support, I guess. It's gonna be the shell guy, and then we have artist agent and expert at image generation and processing. Okay, so now we have the image tool. We would like the image tool to be in the artist. So let's move it down here. So the artist is gonna have access to the image tool. We want these things to be controlled by shell. All right, so basically we have the weather tool is just like a test, right? We'll keep it here. Okay, we have the delegate tools for the Scufris agent, for the supervisor. The knowledge has this tool. Now we have an artist and then the shell. So do we want, I guess obviously we want delegate tool from Scufris to artist and from Scufris to shell. Those are important. Those things are kind of important. So artist can generate images, shell can do all of these things. Yeah, sure, I guess next step, I mean, we have to add that model file. I guess it's just lava. It's nothing special, right? If we are gonna use lava, but maybe we want to change the prompt a bit. So it's gonna be lava. But what's annoying is that we cannot have the same name. Okay, whatever. Let's just go to main and let's add it just like lava. Doesn't really matter. For now, you are the image interpreter. An expert at image interpretation and processing. Okay, so that's gonna be that, and we want the artist to be able to delegate to lava, right? So basically the current architecture is like we have Scufris, which is the supervisor. It has access to all the agents, I guess, to planner, coder, knowledge, shell, and artist. Knowledge has a tool for doing web search. Artist has a tool for doing image generation and calling the lava model, which should interpret the image. And then we have the shell agent that's able to do shell IO, like creating files, reading files. We'll see about running commands, but I don't really want to do that. I think it would be kind of... Okay, so what did we do last time? We told it to load this image. Okay, so it loads that image. Uh, yeah, but it's supposed to call it himself. That's kind of annoying. Let's see. I mean, also said that maybe we want artists to have access to shell. Maybe shell agent is not an expert at providing shell support, like loading and writing files. Maybe it needs to be a bit more explicit. Okay, it loads it from shell. Yeah, but I mean, it should be just a load. It shouldn't. Hmm. Okay, I don't like that. Okay, let's think about how we can prompt it better. So the knowledge agent, that's gonna be relevant for this part. Shell. I guess, just saying load image is kind of annoying because it's not gonna know what's the goal. And I guess we can ask it to create a plan for this task. Yeah, it doesn't want to do that. It's so annoying. I need to read it. But yeah, it's like just load the file. So let's see what it does actually. I'm curious if it's gonna do something useful with it. Maybe the shell agent is too smart and is trying to do a bunch of extra crap that it's not really supposed to do. So let's go to the prompt for the shell agent and let's say a very important, just run the tools, do not try to solve other problems. Ah, because I was running it here. Llama create shell. Let's just try to improve it a bit. So we have a load image. Yeah, but it's so I need to read. Then it says done, but then why is it why is it thinking about it? It's annoying. But decoding the image. Yeah, I guess it's fine because it was just load the image and tell me what is inside. I guess at this point, yeah, it's gonna call the artist, right? So I guess it runs it with shell. Hmm. Let's take that. Describe the image from. Yeah, like I would like it to. Okay, maybe it's confused at this point. So describe the image from. Let's see if it's gonna use the right agent. What? The artist might not be the right tool here. Oh, it's actually doing it. I mean, I guess it is, right? So, because I think the image was, but I mean, it's a llama, so. But I guess it got it, right? So, I mean, it's all about prompting for these LMs. And that's why I think it's pretty important to have as few neighbors as possible. So this Scufris should have as few neighbors as possible because otherwise it might get confused. Mm, it's like maybe, yeah, maybe these prompts are too small at this point. Like the architecture grew quite a bit, so maybe we want to improve them. Like for instance, here we can say this agent expects base 64 images or paths to files. It can also generate images based on prompts that it can improve, right? So it's, oh, interesting. I'm curious if I can I mean, probably I can do with plus. Really, I cannot. Fuck. What is this language? Whatever. So, yeah, you might want to add more information about it. Like, okay, this is the artist agent and it has a system prompt for itself, like it knows how to act, but maybe Scufris doesn't really know that much about it. Like, okay, it knows that it's an expert at image generation and processing, but it doesn't really know that this guy expects base 64 images or paths to files. and that it can also generate images, and you can give it a prompt and it can improve the prompt, so it doesn't really know about that. And here it's provides shell support. Right now it can read and write files, and then you can add more stuff to it. And then Lava, unexported image interpretation. This agent expects an image in base 64. Alright, so maybe we want things like this. And here this agent can search the web. Alright, so you want to give it for instance, even here this agent should be used to simplify, or I guess to create a plan for complex or for complex tasks, right? So maybe that's gonna give more incentive to Scufris to actually use the planner. Right. Yeah, I mean, sure, it does the job, right? So it's gonna call the let's see. So Scufris, it calls the artist with that. Okay, there's a provided a file path. Let me think about how to handle this. Since I can't access the file. Why did it call it the same? Like, it's so funny. Wait, didn't I? Oops. Didn't I say describe the image? Describe the image. Analyze the contents. It's like, but why? Okay, so I know why. It's because I said here this expects or pass to files. Alright, so this agent expects base64 or pass to files to be included in the prompt. Or maybe because if it only provided the path, that's why, right? So describe the image. It's still this agent can interpret images from base 64 or paths. Let's not give it too much render image. Okay. Okay, interesting. But why does it only provide the path? Is it okay? Let's go to Scufris. No, I wanted to go to Scufris, the model. Make sure the prompts for the other agents are clear. Let's iterate over the prompts. Why not? Describe the image. Oh my god, it's so fucking annoying. Why does it? It's useless. It's like load the image from. Okay, nope. Describe the image from. I mean, at some point it worked, so yeah, it's kind of annoying that it's. Okay, now it does the right prompt, so wow, what the fuck. So we did something to the shell things. It can next but at providing shell support. The shell agent maybe a wrapper around shell it can read and write files. Is that how you spell interact? Interact. Yeah, I guess so. Interacting with the OS. It can read and write files. Jesus, it's still going. My guy is still going. Okay, no, let's try again. Describe the image from. I'm also curious about how much GPU memory we are using and stuff. It's like almost 100%, almost the entire GPU memory. So it's kind of impossible to use a vision model like generating stuff. Oh, again, it's so annoying. Why is it not? Okay. Oh no. I don't know. Like it's like mainly about the prompts at this point. So yeah. Describe image from. Again, like it did it once, but I'd like it to be more reliable, let's say. Oh wow. Oh, let me see if it has tools. That's kind of decent because yeah, but it's maybe I have to mention that it's base64. So instead of read image, this one maybe should say that it's returning read the image data from files in base64 format, right? And then in read, oh, tools read, what does it do? Ah, shit. Okay, so this to read plain text. So this is for plain text, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so this one is for plain text. And then we have a write, which should be for write plain text to files. And if we go back to main, this agent expects an image in base 64. So here, no, and the best tools, just run the tools. Love that. Maybe we can also say do not. Well, I guess we'll leave it like this one. I was thinking to ask it to do not come up with like shell commands. You are the guy to run the shell commands, but maybe it doesn't matter. So I guess I just change something around here. Wait, what did I change? Inside the description for the functions, because it was complaining that it doesn't know how to if it can use the read image. Okay, describe image form. So again, you have to also be really explicit with the prompts. That's another hard part. Okay, so using the shell agent, at least it went to the artist, so that's good. Let's see if it's gonna delegate to shell. And output its base 64, so it knows how to do read image. Status success, so maybe provide JSON. Yeah, but why is it breaking down the data? It is fucking retarded. I need to read read the image and output its base 64. It's like such a simple request, Mr. Shell. The user provided the JSON response that seems to be an image. And also, what I'm not sure is the tool, like the tool call, should it be set as the user message? I'm not sure, honestly. I don't understand what's going on here, but why does it want to understand what's going on here? It's like such a simple request. It should just return the response, verifying the image. Oh my god. Okay, I'm upset now. I'm going to shell. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a prompt that it's like gonna put me on top of the list when the AI uprising is gonna happen. It's like you, you know. I'm just kidding. I mean, everyone probably had that moment, but okay, so the shell agent. I mean, maybe we can just make it dumber, like llama 3.2. Maybe it's too smart. Describe the image form. Like that's the part that I'm maybe not sure about. So when we get, so here we make a tool call. I mean, we put it as a role tool, so no, it's fine. Yeah, whatever. So here it's Scufris artist. Okay, again, it gave it like a path. It's like so dumb. Describe the image from. Why does it only give it a path? I mean, maybe we can modify the artist to be like more understandable. Like it needs to fucking just read the file if it's also is the right agent. So generate. You can also interpret images from base 64 or paths. I don't know, like we might just add this information here because it's becoming annoying. Describe image from. Okay, so read the file and provide base 64. Wait. But why does it do this trash? I need to read the image. So let's see what it thought. Okay, so I haven't updated the model, but yeah, let's do that. The main object has a data which is base 64. So if this guy, the prompt, was output its base 64, what the fuck? Here's how to decode and view it. I mean, yeah, it's so. I need to run the image generation. Wait, what? Okay, let's go here. I need to check with Java, analyze the image, providing base. So at the end, I guess it provided a base 64. Or maybe we can also somehow hard code images and files. Like if you load information, we can have a shared state somehow. But I don't really like that idea. It's kind of ugly. I need to check with Java, analyze the image. A weapon-like object? What the fuck? And then it wanted to generate an image, but it couldn't because I don't run that. I need to run the image generation, comic book style illustration, black coding, holding a weapon. Dude, it's already going after me, dude. Okay, I mean it's kind of funny though. Olama create share. So we redo the share because I got annoyed. Describe the image from. Let's see. So it's doing some thinking. So it's gonna ask the artist to describe the image. Artist is like, okay, let's do that. It's probably gonna call the shell. I can't assist with that request. Oh yeah. So it doesn't like that. Interesting. Let's still keep Quen. The goal is to respond with the results of the tool calls. You are basically proxy to IO. What's my purpose? To hold the butter knife? Okay. Describe the image from. Okay, so let's see what it's gonna do this time. Okay, this part is like pretty clear. From now on, Scufris is gonna call the artist. That's pretty simple. It's always gonna happen. Yeah, I mean it's kind of true to be confused that it's what should I do? Cat. The user wants to see the contents. I need to read the image. It got it. I should explain. Mm. But it still didn't respond with the right stuff. That's the annoying part. So, nothing much. Maybe we don't want to have the shell agent directly. Maybe we want the artist to have a read image tool, and that's that. Like, it's gonna make it simpler. Like, okay, you are gonna get deleted shell. I'm sorry. So let's just pretend that, okay, let's say we don't need it, the shell tool. Maybe we'll do something else in the future, but for now let's say that artist has access to read image, otherwise it's gonna be annoying. So if we run it again, describe the image from, and it's what's also a bit annoying is Scufris doesn't always create the best prompt. Like now it did, but sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I need to read the image. Okay, let's say it's fine to have the tool like that. I think it's okay. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? The user provided this JSON response and wants me to explain what it's about. Maybe, what if the image is like too big, right? So maybe something else that we want to do to improve this stuff a bit would be So here we return the base64, which is kind of not ideal in our opinion. What if we have something like an image registry? So like we have here the tool registry. What if we have an image registry or something? Right, and somehow being able to use the image registry. But I'm not sure how we can do that. Because I'm also like thinking that here we return the base64, but we would add the image to an image registry. The problem is that Lava doesn't have access to tools, so you cannot pass it like a base64. So at some point you still have to load the image into the history, so even then it's not gonna work. Okay, let's see again. So load the image from and then describe it. Use the artist agent. See, like it's gonna read the image, but then it's not calling the right tool. There is a result array. It's already hallucinating. Yeah, it's cars, sure. Now I'm curious if I, so let's go Scufris. If we do go random and we say describe the image from here, it should show us the image at least when it loads it. Flashbang, I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's like, why is it spewing out code? It's like so useless. Let's go to the artist. I mean, we can say make sure to use read image to read images to base 64, and then we can say use lava agent to interpret images, do not interpret base 64 yourself. Maybe we can also say never output code or useless information. Okay, I don't want to see the image again, so describe image from. I forgot to yeah, I'm not sure the registry for the images doesn't really make sense. It would be kind of hard to use it. Yeah, but see how it's spewing out code, like literally I told it to not never output code. Very important, never output code or image description without checking lava. I mean, these are kind of like useless agents. Would be more interesting to implement the actual like wrappers around shell, because like for images it's like whatever. It's like cool and all, but it's more of a gimmick, and it's also like so dumb. Like no way it's not reading the system prompt. Am I doing something wrong? Is it not the right model? Well, yeah, I thought. Because up until this point it works fine. It reads the image, but then what I would assume is that the base 64 is so huge that the model forgets what the like chat was about. So that's why I thought, well, we might want to have some kind of image registry where we save the base 64, and then in the conversation we have just like an image ID, an identifier. But then we have to I guess we could do that, but then we have to figure out every place where we use an image ID and replace it with the base 64. Right, so if the artist is gonna make a prompt to lava with some kind of ID, we need to modify that that ID with a thing from the registry. So I think that's what I'm gonna try to do. Maybe have some kind of tool around, like a wrapper around lava, like image interpreter. So the same as we do with new image, let's do desk image.go. So it's gonna be describe image, and let's say it's gonna have image ID or something. Image ID. The image ID to use with the image interpreter tool. Image ID cannot be empty. Describe image. Describe image tool, and here let's say we want agent-like, right? We need something that's agent-like, and it's gonna be like lava, but let's say LLM. It could also be just an LLM. A model. And here we create a describe image tool. What the fuck? Dude. Okay. Model. Then I have the describe image tool with parameters. Describe image parameters. Image interpreter something. Use this tool to describe an image using an image ID. The image ID must be a valid string or something. Okay, and then when we do call, we need the parameters, and we take the image ID. I need to run the image interpreter tool with image ID. Oops. Model. Fuck. So t.model.chat. Now that's kind of the sad part. Maybe I want it to be an agent-like, because it's gonna have the prompt and everything. So here let's say agent-like. Like I wanted to handle the prompts. So here here we could do something like t.agent.chat, and we pass in the context, and then inside of the prompt we have to do something. I can see that, well, also here you do model, prompt, and then images as a list, so we might have to do something there as well. So chat, it's only prompt. Maybe we have to add some information there. But this guy gives us back a string and an error. So let's say data and error, just return null, perfect. And then we say image interpreter or something, image interpreter I don't even think we do much, just like a result or something. But yeah, here is gonna be interesting. And yeah, that's a good point. Chat works with a string there. Right. The fuck? So it has this chat thingy which works with a prompt. So here we create a new message, and the message has role, content, tool calls, but I'm pretty sure that fuck. No, I want the API. Like, I'm pretty sure here when you have the role and you can also have images, which is optional. All right, so we can also have images. Interesting. Anyway, so in describe image, yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's not gonna have, but it doesn't need. Okay, fair enough. Let's do LLM only, so we can make things a bit easier. So here, let's say it's just the model LLM dot LLM LLM dot LLM, like that. So here we can say LLM dot chat, or I guess model dot okay, model dot chat, and chat takes a request. So it takes the context, the request, and on token, which is gonna be null. So it needs context, some request, and null. And it's gonna give us a chat response. It's data from here. Let's pass null first. Message content, right? But here for the request, we want to pass in you, LLM chat request. But we can actually create a chat request, right? With a list of messages. So new chat request. I guess the model is actually like more of a provider, let's say. The provider that we are trying to use. and then maybe we have model string in here. So model, and now we can do, when we create this, is gonna be model, then we have empty list of messages for now. So it's like this, llm.message, llm.toolinfo, and streaming is like true, but it depends. Chat request, where do we create a chat request? We create it here. Inside of chat. Interesting. And as I said, the message could have images inside of it. So images is basically a list of strings, I guess, or null. Okay, string, and this one should be JSON images. Here we can say null, I would assume. And then what if we have a function on message that's like with images, and here it's like images string, and returns a message, and we do something like m dot images is equal to images, and then return m. So we can create a new message but with images or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I still think I want maybe chat to take in a message. So if I take a look at agent, where is it used? In here in delegate tool. Maybe I want this thing to be a message here. llm.message. And like we don't have to create a message. Chat doesn't really care about that. Right, and now where do we use this thing? Inside of main. Here we can do llm.new message, llm.role user, and prompt. Right, it should fail in another place. What the fuck? Here in delegate. Oh. llm. This one is also interesting. It's like new message, and what's the role, right? It should be role user, I would say. That's the interesting part. I'm not sure what role the caller should have. Doesn't matter that much. So there's the agent like for the delegate tool. So in disk image, we're not using that. So maybe here I don't want to use the provider. Actually, maybe I want to use just an agent like. Okay, fair enough. Let's keep it as agent for now. Agent like for this tool. And here we can do agent.chat, and chat is gonna take the context and a new message. So llm.new message, and we are gonna have the role as user, I think. And then in the content we are gonna put, I guess, I'm not sure, but then we have with images, and here we need to put the image. I guess we want also a prompt. So let's just copy the prompt to use for the interpreter agent, I guess. If prompt gonna be empty. I mean, we need a prompt, right? And the image ID. So here is gonna be prompt, and then for the image ID, we want to somehow read it from a store somewhere. We do that. Like a registry for tools, or registry for images. Let's say for now we are just gonna create a global variable like var image registry, which is gonna be a map from string to string, so it's like base64. We just ignore the fact that it's global variable. We are gonna deal with it later, but let's do a proof of concept first. So we have read image, and once we get the image as base64, we want to do something like image registry, and I don't know, like image ID is equal to doesn't work. Yeah, so we can maybe printf image underscore %d, and then we say image registry of image ID is equal to image, and this guy is gonna return image ID. All right, so we get back the image ID, and let's rename these to result maybe. So basically the read, use this tool to read images image data from files in base64. This tool will return the image ID. Right, so this tool is going to return the image ID. Read image tool parameters, that's good. So we get back the image ID. And then inside of describe image, we need to do something like image registry of image ID. That's going to be our image. So we just have to pass it in here, image string, like that. Fuck, how do I? Insane. Oh my god. Go and create array one. Oh, like that. Interesting. Okay, so that's maybe gonna work. We'll see. And we get as a response, we get just a string. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we have the chat function that takes in a message and returns a string. Maybe we want to make this into returning another message, who knows, but I think it's fine like this for now. So we get the image ID, use this tool to describe an image using an image ID. All right, so that's pretty nice. So that's the image interpreter tool. We have the delegate, we have the describe image, we have the image ID, but I said maybe I want, wait, this is generate image. So this one is also going to work the same. We are going to store the image in the image registry, but right now let's ignore it, or I guess let's ignore it for now. Right, and maybe even read and write are going to work like that, but I'm not completely sure. We are just going to ignore them. But I think I'm happy with this idea. Let's go to main and let's try to make it work. So we have new image tool, and here instead of doing a delegate, let's do a new image, new describe image tool, and it wants an agent, so like lava, and that should be it. So it wants just an agent. Describe the image from, oh, let me just copy paste it. So this one, it should load the image. Let's see if it's gonna call the artist to load the image. First I need to process the image directly. The fuck did it do? I need to read the image. Okay, nice. Oh, nil map. But then, okay, image registry. Do I need to do like equal something? Do I need to do that? Describe the image from. Okay, so it read the image. I need to run the image interpreter tool with image 0. The image is a square graphic figure. Oh, it actually got it. Holy moly. This was... Okay, the user asked to describe the image from the given path. I first used the read image function to get the image ID, which was image 0. For some reason it wants to tell us that, but it's not important. I called the image interpreter tool. Oh, this is in the think process. Okay, that's fine. And then the full stuff is the image depicts a simple cartoonish llama with a large expressive eye, minimalist design. Okay, that's pretty cool. So we actually managed to get it. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with this idea actually, because it's a bit more efficient. We don't load the image directly into the LLM memory. We just put a single ID, and then we are using that ID to actually, refer to the image. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, maybe we can make use of this kind of idea for other tools as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty nice. So okay, now that we actually got to the result, that's a good result. Oh, I guess we can call it a day. I'll have to implement a better. Do I want to implement a better thing for the registry? I don't know. Honestly, I don't. I cannot be bothered, to be honest with you. Maybe some things that I saw while looking at this is, I kind of don't like seeing this read image done. Looks kind of ugly. Image interpreter done, it's also kind of ugly. Kind of don't want to see it. So we can just remove those, but I honestly think I'm fine with it. I mean, maybe just register image, like which should abstract. So when you look at read image, we are doing this annoying creating the image ID. I want to kind of abstract this this thing. I don't want to call it every time, because if it breaks somewhere, we have to fix it everywhere. So that's the part that kind of makes sense to abstract away. But image registry obviously is gonna remain, is gonna stay as a hash map, so that's not gonna change. Okay, so as I said, read image should be done. We shouldn't use it because it's ugly. Wait, actually I'm curious. Oh, I'm doing iCat just shows the image. Okay, makes sense. I was wondering why I don't see the name of the tool, but yeah. So again, it's like kind of ugly to see that done message. So I need to read the image ID, and then inside of description, I don't want to see this message. I just want to see, I need to run the image interpreter tool with, and that's gonna come from artist. So it's gonna say I need to run the image interpreter tool with image 0, and then lava is gonna respond. Okay, so I think that's kind of it. And sure, you can now imagine that when we generate images, they are also going to be with image ID, and then we can play with more images. But as I said, images are not that important, but they are fun to like watch, I would say. It's like the more fun part compared to the more useful part, which would be actually working with a shell and with files. So yeah, probably gonna do some of those myself, but kind of happy with the results. So we actually got Scufris to describe an image to us from the file system. So that's pretty nice. Okay, then yeah, I guess we'll see in the next one. So until then, see you.